Welcome to the Hollywood Outsider, an award-winning weekly entertainment podcast. In this episode, we'll be discussing some new movie and TV news. Venom: The Last Dance has danced its last dance. And our From the Outside In topic is politics and entertainment. It's going to be fun. Let's get on with the show. My name's Aaron Peterson. Joining me today, I'm a fellow host, John Davenport.
Hey, buddy.
Trey Heinrichs.
It's the last episode before the purge.
And Amanda Zink will not be here. But if you want to hear her, she was on the 5-hour episode from last week. So go listen to her Woman in Horror episode. It's actually really, really interesting to go back and into a time capsule.
So long.
It was very long. Yeah. It was 5 hours. 5 hours was the number, I believe, total.
That was back in the day when the show was like a commitment.
What do you mean? Is it not a commitment now? Maybe that's the problem, John. You don't take it seriously.
Well, no, the audience.
No.
The audience was a commitment for the audience.
It was a commitment for the
listen
audience to like, because I remember a show taking me all day of pausing and playing to be able to get through an episode, and now it's pretty digestible.
I think people miss it, to be honest with you. I hear more of that than the other. Just don't have time for the that.
There's no such thing as too long, just too boring.
Exactly. I really enjoyed going back and hearing Justin McCumber's dulcet tones, too. I hadn't listened to anything with Justin in a while, so that was nice. I miss arguing with that SOB.
Oh, I thought you'd say it's potato chip bag.
No, I don't miss that. I don't miss that. It was never fun. I'm eating chips during the middle of a podcast. It's like, who does this? Like, what kind of savage would do that? That was back when, people weren't audiophiles, so you could get away with things like that. Now people will just, well, I'm done with this show. No more of that. Do you think Amanda is not going to be here just because she's afraid to talk politics? I think that's what it is.
Maybe.
Yeah, because then she's going to say something way too off color, and then somebody is going to be trying to hunt her down or something in Colorado. Okay,
so you think of the two of you, she's more likely to say something off color?
Yes, it's called a joke, Aaron.
Oh, all right. Well, if you got to explain it, it sure is.
Oh my God, this is going to be so bad today. So bad.
Sorry. Let's see. Well, remember, you can always find more information at thehollywoodoutsiders.com. You can join our Facebook group at The Hollywood Outsider, and we're on X at Buy Popcorn, which will come into our political conversation, I'm sure, because apparently it's a political mechanism now. Who knew?
What?
It is. You don't think so?
I've not touched the service since it changed its name.
Well, just so you know, we're not putting our personal politics. It's really just about politics and entertainment. So
right.
It's not about, you should vote for that. You vote for it's your life, man. It's your vote. You make your choice. We're just going to have our conversation. Try to be as safe as possible and then not call people dumb. Right?
I'm just going to plead the fifth.
You're dumb.
Yeah. Just understand the Constitution. Plead the fifth.
I do think it's important to know the Constitution. I do. I had that debate with someone recently, and yeah. Where they told me,
wait a minute.
I don't think it's important for the president to know the Constitution. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's the one job requirement.
It is in the oath of office. It's pretty important.
God. But to each their own. Everybody's entitled to their opinions. Everybody's got one.
Which apparently Netflix
Yes.
has.
Hey, two things on Netflix, right? The first one's David Fincher had just come out that he's going to helm an English language Squid Game. So they're going to redo that for English language because people don't want to do
subtitles.
Wasn't it extremely popular? It's an extremely popular show. I don't know how much more popular it's going to be by being in English.
I mean, I remember I watched Les Revenants, The Returned, the French version from Cannes, and then they did an English version of it. Carlton Cuse did it on A&E, and I could tell you the English version was not anywhere as good as the French version.
Really?
So it was.
What tipped you off?
It was literally
Carlton
the same show, but just acted very poorly because they acted like American actors do, versus like truly sinking into the material and feeling artistic. Because the Return was a very artistic show in its symbolism and how people came back from the dead and things of that nature. So, if they just act like reality TV assholes in this American version, I don't know if it'll be as good as what we saw.
I mean, they were
Korean
kind of reality star assholes in the original version. Most of them.
A little bit towards the end of it, but
it took you that long to think some of them were assholes?
If you watch the Korean version, where you actually got the Korean dialect versus the English overdubbed, I guess would be the way I would think about it. Like the English version did not have the same impact as the Korean dialect with the English subtitles, because I think once you hear the Korean dialect with their faces and expressions, it wasn't. Yeah. It didn't seem as like Americanized assholery. You actually felt the passion of the actors that were actually performing the work. But yeah, the English dub version definitely made a couple of them look assholery towards the end of the show.
Definitely did the dubbed version. I did. I'm pretty sure I did. It's been so long since I saw it. I honestly can't remember, but that would be me. If it was available, that's the way I would do it.
What was fun was watching the English dubbed version with the English subtitles, and they did not match up.
That feels right. Yeah, feels right. We can't get anything right. Well, they're also doing this other thing that, to piss Troy off even more. Oh, they've announced the launch of a thing they're calling Moments. It's a new feature that makes it easy for members to bookmark, save, and share favorite scenes from shows and movies on the streamer. And apparently it's going to start rolling out to members globally by the time you hear this. And they're trying to get engagement, compete with YouTube. And it was designed to help fans relive iconic moments and discover new favorites. So you can save key scenes and share them with friends, providing new ways to connect over the stories you love. Spoiling the shit out of everything, right, Troy?
It is exactly what it is. It is spoiler city. It's going to be in my reels. It's going to be in my feed. It's going to be everywhere. And I'm going to see something and I'm going to be pissed off about it because it's going to autoplay. And more importantly, it's just like Netflix getting free advertising because I don't have to pay for the ads now because everybody's going to do it for me. So like, why even bother? Like this just seems, and it's also like takes away from the art form because now I got to pause the show and then go share the clip and I can't just watch the content. Just watch the content.
You don't have to do anything. Nobody's.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're sounding like they're forcing you. They're playing your Squid Game. Like, what are you talking about?
It's going to be in the interface. It's going to be annoying because it'll just be like there, and just to know that it's there, and know the next time I pick up Instagram, I'm going to be like, oh, there's that.
Now I have to. It's there. I got to use it. It's a little. It's a new tech toy. You don't have to touch it.
Some guy with the X mask on, standing over him with a gun in his face. Now share it.
Apparently, that's how Troy sees it.
I don't want to see it at all. Does not need to be shared.
I think this is a good idea for them. Going back to it, I just think this is a good idea for them. Yeah. Like it's good marketing. It's good. It makes the app a lot more user friendly as far as being able to share those moments because people like to share those moments. People like to share what they love. I think that this is going to be good for them. And also staying in the one app or one or two apps is a great way of doing it versus, okay, well, maybe I have to figure out a way to record the scene. And then maybe I have to figure out a way to then put it on a service that I want to put it on so that I can then share it someplace else. This is just a one-stop shopping for it. And it makes sense.
Hey, man, it's like you have your own way to make a GIF, right? I got my own GIF machine, but only it's cool Netflix moments, if there are any. It definitely won't be for many of their movies. I'll tell you that. It'll be all from TV shows. Because their movies are average at best. That's a joke, John. We're not on the same page on what jokes are. So
I mean, it's really good that you told me it's a joke. Otherwise, like I don't know what I would do with that.
That's all right. People listening, they were laughing.
No, they weren't.
They were guffawing. There's a lot of guffawing going on in the background. I can hear it through the headphones. It's wild.
Is it like Joy's dog barking?
Yeah. So it's true. Yeah. So, it'll be interesting what they do with this. And once they do it, guess what? Everybody's going to do it too.
That's the problem. It's like, everybody copies it and then it's just going to be everywhere. And then,
but it's already everywhere to one degree or another. It just depends on how determined people are to do it.
I see clips on Reels all the time of stuff that shouldn't be there.
Yeah. It's already everywhere. So why not make it easier and use it as a way to market back to your app?
It's branding.
I was going to say Troy Heinrichs and Netflix on the post. So Netflix gets credit on my feed. Is that how that's going to work? Do I get a penny every time I post something for them?
I don't know. Try it out for a year or two. Like just post the shit out of everything. You and that Squid Game guy next to you.
For something that seems very easy to avoid, you're very angry about this. Like all you got to do is not watch it.
This is
easy.
This is coming from this is coming from the mofo that literally is like, God, these people spoil everything all the time.
Why do you keep tagging me? So-and-so dies. That's something I can't avoid. An actual video clip. Oh, it's of that show. I don't need to watch that. I don't need to watch that. I don't need to watch that.
Swipe up, swipe up, swipe up.
It's like Tinder. Next. Or Grindr for you guys. I just learned.
What's that even?
He just learned last night that Grindr was for the gentleman looking for other gentlemen.
Oh my gosh! Seriously?
I don't date, Troy. I don't know if you heard.
Oh my gosh!
Oh.
It was a great moment. We all like sat there and looked at him like, what just happened?
I have perplexed and shocked at the same time.
Which is even funnier because everyone's heard his phone make the Grindr noise. So like,
I wouldn't be ashamed of it if I did. I wouldn't be ashamed. I'd be proud of it. Hey, whatever you got to do today. It's tough out there. I get it.
You see, Aaron, that was a joke.
That's what you keep telling me. All right, so Marvel news. This is kind of...
In case you're wondering, Aaron is a good-looking gentleman.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My email is troy@thehollywoodoutsiders.com. I use his. It's weird.
Yep.
Marvel news.
It's fine.
Blade is delayed. So
what? I'm shocked.
Yeah, what? I know this is actually...
oh my gosh.
This is like a week old. But I don't care. It's worth bringing up because we didn't have a normal episode last week. And also Spider-Man 4 is locked for July 24th, 2026, following Avengers Doomsday. So we have it confirmed. Tom Holland is returning as Spider-Man. But I got to ask, okay, now the rumors are, there's nothing confirmed, but the rumors are Mahershala Ali is still on board. He's okay with the direction. He's okay with the delay. He hasn't left the project. But I guess I got it. Like, at this point, should we just give Blade his legacy movie, his Logan? Like, with Wesley Snipes, is what I'm saying. Should Wesley Snipes get his Logan at this point? After the reception of Deadpool and Wolverine, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely. Like, why isn't it already a done deal? Just signed, done. They could literally film that now and have it out before Blade comes out.
I like that. And then just reboot it with a different one. Or hand him pass the torch, in a way. New Blade. It's his kid or something.
That'd be cool.
Blade Jr.
Yeah, why not? They make crazy... They didn't need Uncle Ben for 3 Spider-Man movies. I'm pretty sure they could change and make Blade have a kid.
But they put Uncle Ben in the Spider Madam Web movie.
Oh, it's different. That's not part of the regular Tom Holland thing.
It's very important to not talk to me about that part. Seriously, it's just important to not talk to me about it.
Aaron, can we talk more about the fact that Madam Web movie had Uncle Ben in it?
No. You had the 3 movies and Spider-Man proper movies, and you had more Rice Uncle Ben than you had real Uncle Ben. I can't with that one. So yeah, we all say, give Wesley Snipes his legacy movie, his Logan movie.
Yes.
Okay.
I guess.
Especially if it's like a Logan movie where he's like all, angry and gruff and.
That would be different from Blade. How?
More angry, more gruff.
Okay.
I mean, I think Mahershala Ali is cool, but I don't know if he's Wesley Snipes cool. I just, maybe. I could see him doing it. I just don't know. Wesley Snipes just has that extra level.
What I would want to see is them to get rid of the wig that they used in Deadpool. And
was it a wig?
Yeah, that was a wig.
Do you know that for a fact, or are we just talking out of our ass right now?
I'm kind of talking my ass, but I'm 90% sure that was a wig.
So he's just pulling it out of his ass.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would like to see instead of it being hair, like being like now he's got a tattoo up there of the hair or in the like where the hairline would be. That'd be cool.
I feel like you're going to get letters over that one, but all right. So last thing, and then we're going to move on. Jumanji 3 or 4. Is it 4? Is it 3? 4?
Technically it's 3.
3 of this particular trilogy, this reboot, right? Okay.
Yes. The end of the trilogy.
You had Welcome to the Jungle, The Next Level, and now you're going to have whatever the third one's called. It's coming out 2026 for the holidays. So that they are coming back December 11th, 2026. Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Karen Gillan, and director Jake Kasdan, who did both of the originals, which I'm excited. I like that franchise quite a bit.
I like the franchise too. I'm excited for this, and I can't wait. I mean, I got really excited when I read that it was coming because those 2 movies are a lot of fun.
I'm just glad to get third one because if you got 2, you might as well do 3. That's the Hollywood staple.
It is. I mean, why not?
Unless you're the Joker.
Oh,
did I say that out loud? Sorry.
Yeah, Joker's not getting that third movie. And no. You got a better chance of making a sing-along Batman movie than you do Joker 3.
Sing-along. It's like, no, death
honestly,
metal.
I think that they should do Joker Fola do sing-along version with a red ball or something, a clown face going over the songs. They would probably do so much better.
You stop it. Because somebody's probably like, yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I'm sure it's on YouTube already.
What I think is great about the Jumanji, the reboot movies, is that they are better video game movies than most video game movies.
Yep, I do agree with that. They did a fantastic job, and it's not real. It's not like a built off of anything actual real.
No, but I want to play the hell out of it.
Yeah,
it sounds fun.
It's what's interesting is that it feels like a platformer, which is what the game is like. Those games are modeled after, but it feels exactly like a platformer that's going in one direction or a side scroller, and I like that about it.
All right, so now we're going to move on to we're going to talk about Venom: The Last Dance, but first, I do want to mention our show is independently funded. Therefore, all the expenses are from our own pockets, and Patreon helps fans support the favorite podcast. Once you sign up, you get immediate access to all content in your respective tier, and if you want to join up, you go to patreon.com/The Hollywood Outsider. I know we have to do a bad movie night. October has been a very, very busy month for everyone. We were supposed to do Freddy. What was it we were going to do?
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah,
Five
Nights at Freddy's.
We can do that one, or we can do Trap, because people keep talking about Trap. I don't care.
I just rewatched Trap again 2 nights ago, and I still say that's a great movie.
We can definitely put that in the mix if you would like, because I would love to debate that loudly.
Okay.
And positively. Well, that's the whole point of the show, man. Somebody has to like it. I don't.
Or John does.
See?
I do.
Sold.
Doesn't that make it glorious?
Maybe. I mean, if you're paying attention.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to talk about Venom: The Last Dance. And in Venom: The Last Dance, Tom Hardy returns as Venom, one of Marvel's greatest and most complex characters, for the final film in the trilogy. Even Tom Hardy said this is the last one he's doing, allegedly. Eddie and Venom are on the run, hunted by both of their worlds, and with the net closing in, the duo are forced into a devastating decision that will bring the curtains down on Venom and Eddie's last dance.
I've been a fan so far of the two first movies, and I've enjoyed it. But at this point, we know what Venom is. How is it this third time out, Aaron?
I would say if you like the first two movies, you will like this one. How's that? I don't think there's any big leap in quality here. It's about the same. It's Tom Hardy arguing with himself. If you like that, then I think you're going to like this. If you didn't like it the first two times, it's not going to change here. They don't do anything smart like have Spider-Man show up.
Anything stand out from the previous films? Like, does Spider-Man show up?
Well, I think I just answered that, but no, he doesn't show up. I mean, I don't think the effects are as strong in this one, and because there's a lot of effects, they almost have too many. There's a character that's in the movie. I think it's Knull or Null, Knull. I don't know how to say it. How I'm saying it properly. He's kind of like the Thanos of this world, of Venom's world, and he's really part of what is going on is because he's sending his minion beasts out to find Venom because Venom holds the key to his escape from his imprisonment because they apparently all the symbiotes imprisoned him eons ago, and so he's the key and da-da-da-da. So it's fighting off those beasts and trying to save the planet, and Venom recruits his other symbiote friends to join him in this, and that's ultimately what it is. So if there's anything new, it waits till the last movie to introduce this huge arc that could have been a big deal that ran over 3 films, but instead is just here at the end.
Interesting. So, allegedly this completes the whole trilogy of Venom, and it's the only successful expansion from the Spider-Man universe. Does it feel like the end of the road, or do you think there's more to milk here?
I think this feels like the end of the road. By the end of the movie, it actually does kind of, well, a couple things. One, Juno Temple shows up here as a doctor. It's not a love interest or anything like that. She's just someone who's been looking for life outside of our planet for a long time and finds a connection with Venom in some respects. So that is an interesting character. You also have Chiwetel Ejiofor, who shows up as the typical military guy out to kill Venom, and he doesn't want to have a talk with the aliens. He just wants to blast them. But Tom Hardy carries the film, and his back and forth with himself, because if you didn't know, Tom Hardy does the voice of Venom as well, is rather hilarious. And by the end of the film, it's very clear where the relationship ends up. and it kind of has like a nice, beautiful rom-com element to it. It's like these two are, that couple that they're just, it's just so hard for them to make it. But you hope they're going to make it. You hope they find each other. You hope they come together as one, and that's really what the movie's about. And by the end, it really does kind of give you that rom-com feeling a little bit, which is weird for a superhero movie.
Nice. So if $10 is full price of admission, what do you give Venom: The Last Dance?
$6. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You read the Rotten Tomato score. It hasn't had a positive Rotten Tomato score in any of the three films. I've enjoyed all three of them to varying degrees. I think the first one's the best, but it does, especially the second half of the movie, is far more entertaining than the first half, and it really does just kind of ramp up. I just don't understand why you introduce such a major character at the end, and it's a very clear end.
Yeah. So you are very well known in the show as being the Spider-Man aficionado. You love Spider-Man. You love the universe in which Spider-Man sits in. Mm-hmm. Why do you think it is that Venom is the one story they've done from the Spider-Man universe that's managed to pick up besides Spider-Man?
Oh, that's a good question. By the way, your mic dropped, so I think you're just, it's probably like mine where you just have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I usually do. I didn't have the screen up, unfortunately, because I had my one thing taken over the screen.
Do you want to ask again?
Yeah. 1 second. Let me just adjust this. Okay. So, Aaron, you're the Spider-Man aficionado. You love Spider-Man. You've gone on and talked about. We even actually had a minor joke about you and Uncle Ben, and
it's my favorite character.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So it is your favorite character. Why do you think it is that Venom, of all the category of Spider-Man villains or offshoots, why do you think Venom is the one to pick up and actually have a future or have its own successful series versus all the other attempts they've made?
Is cattery a word?
Cattery, yeah.
Oh, all right. Catamaran. That's a good question, actually. I don't know the reason, but I think it's because they made Venom fun. Venom's a fun series, and unfortunately, too many of their films try way too hard to be serious. Morbius, come on. Number one, it's a dumb character to try to adapt. He's only meant to be a villain. He's not meant to carry his own franchise. But okay, fine. Madam Web, I actually think is not as bad as people make it out to be. Mm-hmm. Sure, there's some really bad dialogue and story choices, and the villain was not great. But I think there's pieces of it that really work, and people can argue with me all they want, but I mean, I think it's an okay movie. I don't think it's good. I just think it's okay. Craven's the one that pisses me off, because Venom, okay, they can bring Venom back anytime. He doesn't have to. He can have his own franchise and also pop in. He kind of has his own series and everything, and then he just pops in the Spider-Man universe. Not a big deal. It's fine by me. Craven, though, Craven is a Spider-Man villain. He is not somebody that has his own spin-off comic series. He doesn't have this whole backstory or the lore. I mean, he's very simply a guy who just desperately wants to kill Spider-Man. And to give him his own series and try to make him an anti-hero, he's not an anti-hero. He's a dick. And he belongs in column Dick. That's where he belongs. He doesn't belong in, I got my own series and Aaron Taylor Johnson's going to play me and he's sexy, even though he is all those things. So, yeah. I don't know. It's weird. I think it's because Venom's fun. That's the answer.
The word is supposed to be Cadre, not Cattery. I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable when I said it.
That's fine. I just like to point out when all of us are wrong. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, I had to go and remember that I was like, wait a minute, is that wrong? No, so
I thought you said cataracts now. So I'm just all over the place. I'm confused.
Yeah.
Cataracts?
I need those.
Glaucoma?
I'm blind.
But I think they need to introduce Craven as a character, because then what they can do is bring Craven, Venom, and Spider-Man all back together and just do Spider-Man 2, the video game, as a live action
movie. I'd be okay with that. What?
That story was really good.
Dude, I just can't fathom. Look, I know you're not going to put Tobey Maguire in here, but why not Andrew Garfield? You brought him back for No Way Home, and the audience went wild. He's already said, I would gladly do it for the right thing. Why not have Venom 3 with frickin' Spider-Man, just from a different universe? You've already got multiverse everything. Why is that? Why not do that? I
thought they were trying to get away from the multiverse thing, though.
Maybe, but my God, that would have made me excited. I guarantee it. Much more than Canole or whatever the hell. I can't say his name correctly. You know,
maybe it's supposed to be Null.
Yeah, probably, but that's just boring. It's null and void.
And I'm out of here. Talk to y'all later.
Oh, shit. Well, you know what, guys? It's time to move on to our From the Outside. No, recommendations, right? Let's do recommendations.
Yeah, we got recommendations.
Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Have you seen anything new recently you want to tell people about?
I just picked up a new series that came out last year. It's a series called Found. I think it's a really important series for people to watch as far as the messages that they carry. A lot of the messages that surround domestic violence, mental health. I mean, all these great messages are in there, but it's also this mystery about a detective agency that goes and finds the people who are missing that are less than, or people consider less than. So not necessarily looking for those blonde-haired, blue-eyed, beautiful people who get lost and everyone throws up posters everywhere and it becomes a national conversation. It's the people that aren't noticed very much in those, or picked up as much in those conversations, that they focus on the most. But there's also this nice underlying story because the main character is somebody who herself was kidnapped and held for a year, and it's got a great cast. I'm really enjoying it. And Paul Gosselaar's in it, and he plays like the mentor to the main character, but it's got a very interesting twist. So I really dig it. It's on its second season now. It's on Peacock, which I've been losing my mind on Peacock a lot lately because a few weeks ago, I mentioned how there's a lot of great horror stuff on Peacock. You got Teacup that's been out, that's coming out week by week, 2 episodes to 2 episodes. It's fantastic.
You said Peacock, and I went, and then you went Teacup, and I was like, oh, I know Teacup.
Anybody watching Teacup?
No.
I watched the first one, and then I haven't gotten back to it because I've just been busy.
I'm really enjoying it.
A lot of people have been talking about Teacup, so Teacup's on the radar.
Yeah. We Are Still Here is this great indie flick that's on their Halloween movies. It's got a really high tomato score, but a really low fan score, which I don't understand. With the exception of it is trying to do the very best it can to tell a ghost story with a low budget, but it's trying to pretend it has a big budget. But otherwise, it's a cool story, has some genuinely good scares in it. If you have time to check it out and you want to see a very small ghost story, We Are Still Here.
Is that like that other ghost story you tried to get us to watch, that Peyton List school one where they're all ghosts?
No.
You know, she, speaking of her, while you're breathing, she also has another thing on Netflix. I think it's a movie where she's a ghost and trapped in a school or something. There's like 2 properties that she does that are like that. It's
typecasting.
It's a weird typecasting, and I don't care about because the show is terrible. By the way, I tried. I don't like it at all. Well, not terrible. It's just very CW, and I don't need any of those in my life.
Was that what Netflix is becoming? Because there's a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about in our next week episode that feels like it's become the Hallmark channel.
Girl Haunts Boy. That was the name of it.
Girl, that is a original name right there. Someone really thought hard about that one.
Girl Haunts Boy. It's more of a romance on Netflix, whatever. But I'm like, you're getting typecast as the dead girl. Like that is your typecasting. It's weird. Just a weird thing to be
could be
typecast.
worse things to be typecast for, but it makes sense that the Netflix is picking up a lot of these CW feeling shows because every teenager out there has a Netflix account.
I don't agree with that. I don't.
From their parents.
I don't agree with that. Because once you block out the account, once you block out the password sharing, which is very effective at being blocked out, they don't share accounts, and I don't think teens are paying for it as much as you would think.
Well, as long as they're in the same household,
okay. Well, maybe teens, I guess, but like once they leave the house, I don't think they're.
I just said teens.
They're just going to go to Instagram and watch it literally clip by clip by clip by clip from all the friends that do it.
I only know teens that are independent and they have their own apartments. You know what I'm saying? Like they got to have their own place.
But then they're selling drugs and like, you know.
Hey, commerce. Yeah. It's capitalism. We say we support capitalism. That's capitalism. Don't be mad at them. Hate the player, not the game. If he's wearing a suit, you'd be okay him selling it.
No, I wouldn't.
Is it a wetsuit? Like what kind of suit is he wearing?
Is it a wetsuit?
Where'd you pull that candy out from, son?
That is funny. I'm trying to think I will recommend The Substance, right in time for Halloween if you haven't seen it. Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley. It's a really interesting film. It's body horror, so don't watch it unless you can handle that sort of thing. But I definitely think it's a very good movie. I don't think it has the strong, impactful end it deserves, but it's a strong movie. So I recommend it. Now we're going to move on to our From the Out. Oh, Troy, did you have something? Yes. Sorry, I forgot. John talked for like 45 minutes. I didn't. I'm sorry. That's a joke, John. That's a joke.
Sure. Those that have not jumped on the bandwagon for Only Murders in the Building season 4 just finished the season. It's going to be amazing. It was so great. The reveal is awesome as always. I felt the season was a little bit lackluster initially, but it definitely paid off for the ending. So make sure you go back. All episodes are now streaming for season 4. Also, so I can get my paycheck this week from Jack Bender and company with the Lost crew. They've been killing it on From. From is a little kind of horror-ish. People trapped in a town that can't leave the town. It's in its 3rd season over on MGM Plus, which is why you might not have heard of it. Used to be on Epix for its 1st season, but you can attach it on your Amazon Prime subscription very easily. It's been knocking it out of the park. It's got some really great stuff happening in season 3. I would definitely check this show out if you can handle some of the things that go bump in the night. Basic premise is during the day, they're fine. At night, you better stay the fuck inside because the things that are going to come rip you apart are pretty nasty. But there's some, we'll call it island vibes, I guess is the best way to describe it for what's actually going on in the town once you get through the 2nd and 3rd season.
Oh, see, it's very Lost-ish for you, right?
A little bit, yeah. There was definitely some season 2, like the hatch and the question mark and things like that in season 2. And then season 3 has definitely got those. It does not have Walt. But Harold Perrineau is the lead in the show.
That's why I did that.
Yeah. But season 3 definitely has that character feely moments, which is good. So I'm curious to see how that finishes out. I think there's 6 or 8 episodes out right now.
I was so about to watch that, but then you said island-y vibes, and I'm like, nope.
It's different though, because it's creepy island.
You should have just left it out. Creepy. You should have just not said a thing.
I wonder if it'll have an ending.
Everybody dies.
Yeah, probably. All right, but before we move into our From the Outside In topic, I want to tell you about Transformers 1. Because right now you can bring it home and buy it on digital. You can watch the untold origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron, brothers in arms, who are turned sworn enemies and who changed the fate of Cybertron forever. And check this out. It's got Chris Hemsworth, Brian Tyree Henry, and Scarlett Johansson. They're all the voice talent, plus others in this film that film critics are calling the perfect movie for the whole family. It includes over 45 minutes of fun-filled bonus features. It's available right now at participating retailers. You can buy Transformers 1 on digital today, rated PG, from Paramount Animation and Hasbro, and everyone I know that has seen this movie loved it. I say that as someone who was surprised because I didn't know if I needed this movie, but everybody I talked to said that this is a great film. So I highly recommend it.
It is really good. It was much better than I thought it was going to be going in. And I was like, all right, I hope they do more of this.
All right, let's go to our From the Outside In topic. Politics. Oh, I love it when we can talk politics. And we never get political on the show, or we try to avoid it. And boy, anytime we even gloss over it, somebody's like, "Oh, their politics makes me not want to listen anymore." We get those emails, and it's just okay, rando. It's probably the first time you ever listen. Now,
that's why this topic exists, because we're going to be that person.
Yeah. If you don't like it, just go listen to the 5-hour episode from last week. It's still, I'm sure you haven't finished it. Most people haven't. I don't blame you.
John hasn't. He's been pausing it along the way.
I have like 80 minutes left in it.
Did you listen that much?
No, I didn't listen at all.
Nobody, this is why you got to be honest, man. We're going to talk politics. It's all about honesty. It's about putting it all out there, being serious.
I am going to lie through my teeth, honestly.
And you could probably win office. That seems to be what we need. We're not going to talk about who we're voting for, but we're talking about if politics is actually just entertainment now, and also celebrity endorsements, because I think that's an interesting beast in itself. Okay, now this is a discussion. We're just going to discuss. There's no nobody needs to be getting a pulpit here. Nobody's going to advertise who they think you should vote for. We're telling you up front whoever your vote is, and I don't believe in undecided voters, that's a bunch of bullshit. Can we put that on the record? Now let's start there. Undecided voters is bullshit, right? Everybody's decided.
There's people, I mean, at this point with 5-6 days to go, I'm sure most people have made up their mind, but at the time there's definitely undecided voters. You're trying to see what they're going to say and what they're going to do.
Do you think they get, what the election season is 16 years, it feels like at this point. Like at what point do they go, okay, I'm decided? Like anybody that's not decided by the time the month of September rolls around is either full of shit or I'm concerned about their ability to vote if they're still undecided.
But I mean, this year's different, right? Because the Dems decided to change the candidate. So, I mean, it's a whole different concept this year from what it would be in the past.
I suppose. I mean, I suppose. But I do feel I just don't agree that there's many undecided voters. I just don't.
But entertainment wise, I would absolutely 100% agree with you, because just like you get your Greg Berlantes and your J.J. Abrams and all these people that get like bazillion-dollar checks to get these writing deals and show deals at networks and stuff. I mean, $1 billion for political advertising across the spectrum. Like, can we solve world hunger with this money? Why do we have to have the money go to pay for a bombardment of advertising when we could actually solve real problems in America?
That does piss me off a little bit, right? You've got, and it goes across the board, celebrities, billionaires, everybody throwing all this money around to get people elected so they can get their agenda through. I hate to break it to you. They're not trying to do anything for us, or a vast majority of them. They're doing it because it's going to benefit them in some manner, usually. You disagree?
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me that Elon Musk is not out there just doing the best he can for everybody?
I don't think, what's he call himself? Dark MAGA? I don't think Dark MAGA is out there jumping up and down and doing the X form when he jumps, which is weird. I don't think he's...
Did you see his new line of spaceships spells out SAR? Looks like sexy as the ones for the Tesla.
I think he's doing that because it suits him. Yes. It's for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. I'll tell him.
I know. You're shook, right?
I'm shook.
Yeah. I know he's an avenger of free speech. Meanwhile, he silences people on his own platform. But whatever. That's a whole other thing. Jesus.
I love his new thing. Just because you block people doesn't mean they can't still see your shit. Can you say my ex-girlfriend blocked me, and so now I want to be able to see everything she's doing?
I hate the thing that seriously, vote for whoever you want, but you can't sit there and say I'm a bastion for free speech, and also be okay with somebody saying somebody should lose their license because you didn't like how they treated you. That's completely the opposite of free speech, but that's neither here nor there. The topic is entertainment and politics in entertainment. And we know politics are consuming all media these days. See, we're already down a rabbit hole. We didn't want to go down rabbit holes, right? But here we are. Do you find the explosion of political material, though, entertaining? Because these people are essentially just entertainers now. These people running, they're all putting on a show. You've got people that are doing everything they can just to raise money. Nobody's doing anything. They're not, and this is both parties, both sides of the aisle. They're just show ponies at this point.
Yeah, they're go with the campaign and say, stand here, smile this way, go here, speak to this business, go there, do this thing, because all of it is to create whatever the next TikTok buzz is, or to create the next reel, or to create the next ad. All of it is just moved into the machine rather than being like an actual heartfelt visit to some small store in, downstate Iowa. Mm-hmm.
For me, anything political at this point is just like commercials. I if I can avoid it, I will, and I will do what I can to not pay attention to it. And when I want to tune in, I will do so in specific ways that will, filter the news out in a way that is cleaner and not so BS-y. But yeah, when it comes to someone's on there and trying to pass their story off, no, thanks, pass.
And that doesn't even take into account the fact that now every one of these rallies is literally live streamed. So it's like you can't even open up Instagram and not see Kamala's live here and Trump is live here.
Oh God, I'm so sick of it.
AOC is live here, and it's like all you see is these lives, and it's like I just want to see my friend's story when they went to the Rocky Mountains and took a picture.
Yeah, and I don't understand, because I promise you I'm not clicking those links. So why is the algorithm so determined to make me watch it? I assume because there's a funnel of money going to it, trying to influence that.
Well, like, they're following the account, plus it's a live, so the live jumps to the front.
Maybe. I guess it's possible.
I don't know what you guys are talking about, because I'm not seeing anything like that on my feeds.
Then you must not be following people.
No. I'm not following anyone that's political. Absolutely not.
I think it's important. I mean, I'm a very avid follower of what happens in my country, so I'd like to know,
But that's the question, right? Because it's like, when it become news versus entertainment.
Exactly.
Because the news is entertainment now. The news isn't even news.
It's wild.
That's the downfall of the 24-hour news cycle. You throw in news 24 hours, and then all of a sudden everyone's looking for some story to talk about, and that's why we don't get stories that stay in the zeitgeist very long, or that's why things get buried so quickly, because there's constantly somebody like, oh, here's the next new big thing that's going to go ahead and blow your mind.
Well, we definitely don't need all politicians all the time. We don't need Kamala and Trump occupying 24 hours of news coverage. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Nor pundits like giving their opinions. It's like, great, that's your opinion. That's your opinion.
That's the big
opinion.
thing that drives me nuts is the pundits. Oh my God, I can't handle the pundits and their opinions, because people mistake
we're pundits. We're technically pundits.
I mean, technically yes, but we're talking about things that don't really matter, and we're giving we're giving
movies matter.
Nicole
Kidman.
I was just gonna say Nicole Kidman tells me every freaking day.
Matter.
Since the pandemic, every day, every 4 hours.
All right, I misspoke. Anyhow, but these pundits on these 24-hour news cycles, like, people confuse that for news. People confuse their opinion for news, and it's not that at all.
Oh, they do. Yeah. Did you know blah, 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 blah? Or they confuse Facebook posts for news. I get that debate with my dad all the time. He's constantly telling me something is real, and I'm like, Dad, that's not real. Yes, it is. I go research it. And the last time I did that, and I'm like, no, Dad, here's the truth. Da, 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 da. I don't know why you always have to fact check me. I'm like, Dad, I love you, but that shouldn't be the reply. The reply should, like, it should be, okay, I'll check next time. I'll check further next time. Not, why do you always have to fact check me? I fact check everybody. It's nothing personal, but you in particular.
Someone that's lived with them for 11 years, I could totally agree with that.
One thing I think is very cool, though, in terms of how politics have evolved in entertainment, and some people don't like this. I love this. I think it's awesome that everyone is rallying behind, get on Joe Rogan. Go on Joe Rogan. He's a podcaster. He's been doing it a long time. He's managed to take it to a higher level. People can think whatever they want about a show or his opinions and his conspiracy theories and all that other stuff. But you can't deny it's impressive. You can't deny the audience he's cultivated, the platform that he's built, the way he has changed interview media. Because I tell you what, Trump, Harris, whoever, they could go on all the shows they want all week long, and combined, it's not going to have as large an audience as Joe Rogan does. And that's phenomenal to me, because we're on a podcast platform, and obviously we're not Joe Rogan, obviously. What a great thing that would be. But it's amazing to me that exists, and it's a podcaster, and he's been doing it. Like, he didn't just, he's not one of these people he's not Army Hammer, who's just doing it because it's a quick chance for success and calling his stupid podcast Hammer Time. Shut up. You're totally getting sued over that.
MC Hammer's coming for him.
I'm not taking anyone serious who would actually use Hammer Time. That's not MC. That's how he should open his show. I'm a cannibal.
But it's not the first time someone's used podcasts. Remember, Barack Obama went on Mark Maron's WTF.
He did, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, so it's
but
like
that wasn't as big then. That was it was a big deal, but it wasn't like that's the show to get eyeballs and ears.
I mean, Rogan is big now, right? But WTF with Mark Maron was a pretty big show back when Barack went on.
Well, podcasts weren't what they were for a podcast at that time.
At that time, it was a big show.
Exactly. Right. But now podcasts have become such a big thing. Like, they may have changed a little bit since the pandemic, because you had so many people who are so used to being in the limelight, being like, oh, I'm gonna pick up a podcast. I mean, I'm gonna talk about eating people. The thing that
He never ate anyone, by the way.
No, he never ate.
But he still did some terrible things. He was
It's crazy that Barack and Mark Maron were like, that was almost 10 years ago now.
Yeah. This cycle, Kamala's been on Call Me Daddy podcast. There's a
big female audience, right?
Yeah, yep. Another one that has a big audience. It's been something that's been happening this time around because of just the way we now digest media, and it is interesting to see for as a podcaster.
Well, if you want to hit that Gen Z, Gen Alpha, demographic, the voters that are just coming in at 18, 19, 20, they're not watching CNN and Fox and all the big media. They're looking at YouTube and Reels and TikTok and podcasts, and so you have to reach that young, undecided voter. That's what you got to do. And right now they're both playing the game.
Yeah, they're both playing favorable sides, though. I would like to see both of them in the future, like opponents go on less friendly podcasts. You know what I mean? Kamala, I think, should go on Joe Rogan. I don't know if she will before the election or not. Doesn't sound like it's going to happen, but I hope she does for her own sake. Trump or future versions of Trump, whoever comes after him, should go on stuff like Smartless and things like that, things that are very left-leaning. And because that's how you get middle-of-the-road voters or people that are a little left of center, people that might nudge that way. Podcasts are a very viable form and they have a long shelf life. Unlike CNN, just people turn it on, see what they need, move on. I don't think it has the same shelf life. I don't think people go to YouTube for CNN clips that often. I do think they will go for a Joe Rogan interview and they'll put it on and it'll be background noise while they're at work or working remotely.
I mean, this isn't the discussion we were planning on having, but it has.
That's what a conversation we just evolved.
Yeah, no, I know. I was just, it has evolved into something that's interesting because of like where we're heading with this, but it is something that the younger generations don't feel as though the older forms of media or older forms of getting their news are as genuine as what they're getting from these newer forms of media, whether it's podcasting, whether it's YouTube videos. Like they feel there's a more genuine air to it just because of whether it's the production, whether it's those people are just better at conveying a reality of themselves over to them than some of these newscasters. So I do appreciate the change. However, I think it's one of these things where people have to start really paying attention to the laws or not the laws, but the rules of journalism. And that's something we're losing a lot of.
I don't.
But at the same time, as a journalism major.
Oh, well, we should shut the fuck up then.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll just leave now.
No. I don't disagree with Arjan. I think there's something to be said. Like I always quote the newsroom, right? The fact that the newsroom was very great in the whole concept of like, we're not printing the story or running the story till we have at least two sources. Mm-hmm. From that perspective, that's why I always try to go to the AP news because it's very much middle of the road. I try to get stuff from like outside the country because they'll actually tell you what's really happening on like Al Jazeera and some of those other places. But the beautiful thing about free speech is that it allows things like YouTube channels and podcasting. It doesn't mean you can call somebody a flippin' idiot. It means that you can have a voice and state your opinion and put it out there and they can't shut you down. And I think that's the one thing that we have to make sure we protect is that there are a lot of voices that have a lot of things to say and our politicians are able to hear that as well as they're hearing people call into these podcasts and share their stories and share their viewpoints, which then, of course, the political ad teams are now grabbing onto those stories and using them in political ads and trying to promote those people out so that people also hear those stories. So it's an interesting cycle of how we need to get information from people, but also then use that information for good. Sometimes not so much based on the ads I saw during the football games yesterday.
Oh, God. Get out of my ads during football. Can I have some safe space? I mean, we're constant barrage of political ads and blah, 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 blah. I'm just tired of all of that.
That hasn't changed though for you. I mean, I used to work in radio back in, 2000. And this 10 days prior to the election, it's all we ran was political ads. I mean, it is nothing new today to see all the ads that we're seeing. It's just that when we see the same ad over and over and over, that's when it gets annoying. Like, spice it up a little bit. Give me some entertainment value in these things so I can have something to talk about and make fun of.
That's true. That's fair. What about the
Donald didn't dip that fry basket into the fryer. He just held it there.
Thanks for that segue. What about these political stunts, right? So speaking of McDonald's, Jesus Christ. So you got Trump trolling people at McDonald's. They closed. Those were all of Trump's supporters. Come on. He's not making fries for the general public. Relax. It's a stunt. Beyonce heading up a concert. That's a stunt. These are political stunts. Do they entertain you? Does that stuff entertain? I got to tell you, think what you want about the guy. That was an epic troll. It's a shitty thing because who's going to lie about working at McDonald's? Come on. It's ridiculous, but it's still kind of an epic troll.
I don't know if it's a troll.
It was totally a troll because he's trying to say that she never worked at McDonald's when she was young, as if that's the thing she's going to lie about. I'm sure there's lies in every politician's pocket. I don't think that's the one. And
they're trying to counter program to say, look, he's like, he's with the common people. He's hanging out with the workers.
It's a stunt. These are stunts. There's a lot of political stunts. And it happens on both sides. I'm not picking. It's just that's a very recent one. When you have Kamala and Governor Whitmer going to a bar and having a drink, whether you have Trump at McDonald's, whatever it is, do these stunts ever work? Or is it just like, because to me, all I see is this is all orchestrated. None of this, I don't care about any of this. This isn't policy to me. I care about policy. I'm very policy driven.
Yeah, which is the thing that sucks. It's like, where are the debates? Where is the policy? Where is the conversation? Like none of that is happening. It's all just machine fundraising.
To me, it feels condescending. They're trying to connect with people by doing the things that people quote unquote do.
They don't do ever, right?
Yeah. They're breaking people down to the least common denominator or most common denominator. Let's just say it that way. And it's pandering, it's BS, and it just feels fake to me. And I never really respond to it. I think back to that one instance where you had that police officer, and then you had Barack Obama and Biden come out and sit down and have a couple of beers with that guy at a picnic table by the White House. I know what they're trying to do, and they're trying to create this connection with this guy who already had ill feelings towards the president and who happens to be a peace officer. But at the same time, that didn't feel real. It wasn't real in any way, and it's condescending, and I hate it.
That's fair. I mean, I've got nothing to counter that. It is condescending, and both of them, right? They are who they are. Whatever. Neither one of them are going to show up at McDonald's. Well, I don't know. Trump might show up at a McDonald's drive-thru. Actually, he wouldn't be working there.
He's got to get a Whopper though.
Yeah, he does like this,
and then he's got to tell people that there's no overtime for anybody.
Now you're putting your own politics in here. Keep it out. Keep it out.
He said that.
I just don't need, the policy matters far more. And honestly, it's so hard to get anyone to just answer questions. Everybody's just draft dodging the questions. And that's
your politics just added there, huh? Draft dodging?
Well,
what are you trying to say?
That connects, but that's not what I was doing. I was just, it fit the analogy. I guess times two.
Well done. The thing people don't understand though is all the stuff that they talk about, it doesn't go into effect for 3 years at the end of their term, because it takes that long to get the bills passed through Congress, to get the laws written, to get it implemented. So it's even if they say you're going to get this tax break today if you vote for me, you're not going to see the tax break for 4 years. So, and that's, I think, what the challenge is that people realize that what's happening now isn't because of Biden. What's happening now is because of what happened at the end of Trump's presidency. The Biden effect won't happen for another 4 years. So when you hear these ads, you have to step back and say, okay, this is great. This is the, what do they call it? The promise on the come, basically. It's it's not going to happen for a while. So don't decide your vote based on what you want to have happen now. Decide your vote based on information and research, and dig deeper into the down ballots, because that's the advertising we need to be seeing more of, is local government and state government advertisements. The president doesn't mean shit. No offense.
All right. Damn. President doesn't mean shit. No offense.
Fuck that guy.
Or gal.
Either one. Across the board. Whoever wins. We don't know. By the time you listen to this, it might be decided. Who are we fooling, right? It's going to be 6 weeks after the election day before we know who the freaking president's going to be.
God, I hope not.
Oh yeah, maybe might not be till January. Who knows?
It really will be the purge.
Stop! Not even funny. Not even funny. That's not okay. So,
well, the good news is I already voted, so I'm just going to take whatever comes my way at this point, because I got an email for a free concert to go see Mumford & Sons, and I was like, I'd go. It's a free concert.
Hey, that reminds me.
Wait, did somebody use a free concert to Mumford & Sons for you to vote?
No, I already voted. I'm done. I'm cast. I'm locked on my choice. But I got it. But
you
I
did
got
early
an email.
voting. Yes, I
did
did too.
Voting.
Yeah.
But I got an email that said Mumford & Sons is coming, and we're going to put on a free concert if you come to the rally. And I was like, I want to go see Mumford & Sons. Sign me up.
Oh, so you're going to a rally that happens to have Mumford & Sons. Roger that. Okay, now I see where we're going.
Potentially. I haven't gotten my official tickets yet. I'm in the queue.
Does anyone care about this besides Troy?
No, I don't.
Okay.
It's the entertainment part of it.
I just wanted the detail.
Your experience at a Mumford & Sons concert is very, very important to our political discussion.
Because the way he said it originally was like, I early voted so that I can go to the Mumford & Sons concert.
Oh, no. No one bought my vote. Very clear on that.
My vote's for sale. Like, if it's a really good offer, let's talk. I'm interested.
Mean, if it's like paying off debt, I'll sign right now. As long as I get the check right away.
Let's go. Let's pay some bills, man. I'm kidding. Unless it's Elon, because apparently it's okay if he does it. All right. So moving on. Now I don't like that. I don't like it. I wouldn't like it if it was, I don't care whose side it is. I wouldn't like it either way. And I know billionaires influence elections, blah, 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 but that's so blatant and I just don't like it. But okay. Celebrities have often weighed in on candidates. I want to talk about that. And we know most celebrities, their leanings tend to be left because Hollywood's a very leftist town. But I am curious, do you think celebrities move the needle? And I'll preface that with saying, I know Taylor Swift moves the needle. I know Beyonce probably moves the needle. And I'm sure there's celebrities on the right. Dennis Quaid, hey, I think he's a great actor. And he's all for Trump. Do you think celebrities move the needle for people? Or do people just not care?
It could be something as simple as the celebrities at least can create an air of openness to a concept. You like the person, you have a lot of respect for what they do, then you're going to at least look into what it is they're talking about. But at the same time, I find it that a lot of celebrities move the needle in the opposite direction. I had a friend who was in love with George Clooney. Anytime George Clooney cut his hair, he would cut his hair the same way. He just modeled his.
He's got cool hair.
Huh?
He's got cool hair.
Yeah. He just modeled his entire life after George Clooney. As soon as George Clooney came out endorsing the president he was endorsing, that guy hated him from that point on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there is a bigger. I would agree with that. I think there's a bigger chance of you losing fans and alienating fans than there is of you actually making someone, oh, okay, well, if George Clooney told me to vote for whomever, then I should definitely vote for whomever.
Yeah, I think there's a bigger chance of that, of the alienating fans, I
don't know. I think it's still a lot of sheeple, right?
There are a lot of sheeple, on both sides, yep.
I mean, Taylor Swift says, I'm voting for this person. There's a lot of sheeple moving.
Oh, they're making bracelets, yep, as soon as that came out, I'm sure. I don't care, though. I mean, no celebrity is going to convince me that I should vote for anyone. I don't know if you need my thought, but I am a fierce independent. I voted on both sides of the aisle, and I gotta tell you, no celebrity, as much as I love movies and TV, has ever swayed my vote. And they often come out and try to get you to vote for certain people.
I've always been a member of the Purple Party.
Is it like a purple people eater thing?
No, just we need more people to be in the middle. Like, there's a lot more people in the middle than we think there are.
I agree,
and I think that's a challenge. All we hear is the far right and the liberal left, and there's a lot of America that is just dead set in the middle.
Yeah, I'm an independent, and I've always been an independent because I just don't believe in the whole party system to begin with. But I have several friends who are all independents who have registered one way or the other just so they can vote in the primaries. They have no intention of voting for whatever the president is in the party they're registered to, but they just want to be able to vote in the primaries.
I don't get that.
I don't get it either.
You can vote for whichever, as an election judge myself, you can vote whichever one you want to. So you don't even have to register as Democrat to vote as Democrat in a primary. You could vote and pick the Republican ballot. You just have to declare which one you want to vote for in the primary.
I think that just depends on what state you're in, because they won't. And I've never looked at it, and so before I say anything that I don't actually know about, but I've been told that I have to register by people, not by people in the actual election area. I've been told that I can't, by my friends, that I can't vote for anything in the primaries because I'm not I'm not registered as anything.
Hey, Troy, that brings me to an interesting question because you are an election judge. Are you still doing that this year, too?
I am.
You
betcha.
Do you love being questioned every year about how honest the election process is?
Actually, it's really funny because in the area that we do the election judging for, we do use Dominion voting machines.
So
it's a lot of fun, like having people
Kirsty
like
Swanson's going to do this.
Yeah, I want to do paper. I was like, you can do paper, that's fine. And then they do the paper and they're like, why is my marker bleeding through on the other side? And then you have to sit there and hold it up and be like, okay, you see this line on the front of the page? It doesn't line up with the thing on the back of the page. So it's fine. You can scan your ballot. It's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with the election. I mean, there may be places where it's a little sketchy, whatever, because it's all volunteer based for the most part. I'll be honest, just on the record, right? I do get paid for the day. I mean, we are there from 5 a.m. in the morning until 9 p.m.
Honestly,
at night.
You should be getting paid for it. That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of, people are angry when they're not registered or they're at the wrong place or what have you. That's why if you can early vote. If you want to mail-in vote. It's just, it saves you a lot of aggravation on election day itself. It doesn't invalidate your ballot. It doesn't make any difference. As long as it's postmarked by election day, you're good. So that being said, I think one thing people just have to understand is like technology is technology, right? I mean, no technology is perfect, right? But at the same time, these things go through so much testing and so much auditing, and we have to do so many double check procedures. Like we have to, an example is that the one technology that checks people in, and then there's the technology that actually tracks the check boxes, and then there's the scanner that actually scans in your vote, right? So the number of touchscreens that were used compared to the scanner, compared to the check-in register, those all have to tie out at the end of the night. And if they don't, we have to sit there until 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night until we figure out how to make that happen. So not one machine in the process is causing an issue. There's so many checks and balances. Like, it is completely fair and unbiased. And everything we do, you have to sign off with both a Republican and a Democratic person on everything. The zero tape, the total tapes, the who was the poll watchers, everything is signed by both parties before it goes to the main processing center.
I don't know. Sounds pretty suspect to me.
I don't believe it.
You can believe what you want to believe. If you don't like the process or think the process is rigged, volunteer, get involved.
There you go. Nobody ever wants to do that, do they?
No, they don't.
That's funny. It's rigged. Do you want to help? Oh, I'm busy Tuesday. I got stuff. I got to watch John King with his big magical board.
Dude, I love that man. Come on.
Yeah, he's the one guy of all the pundits. I like John King. He just tells me, like, here's what it is. I never really hear an opinion. I mean, I don't watch his news. I just watch him with the magic board. So I only really pay attention to him once every couple of years, but he's good with that board.
But he makes it interesting.
He does. And he explains it.
Like, this county does this. Like this is probably the only person that's ever been to every county in the United States because he has so many facts about every county.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. All right, so
and he's entertaining. That's the thing. Entertainment and politics. John King is entertaining.
He is very entertaining. And we do agree celebrity endorsements don't really move me. Maybe with the ultra fan with a few people, but it's a very small percentage, I would think, of influence. It's a very small percentage of influence. Now, do you think there's any way to get politics out of entertainment at this point? I mean, they're so ingrained. You have celebrities that are throwing their whole audience to the wind so that they can give an endorsement or write an op-ed about whoever they're supporting. Each side always chastises the other, and it's all the other side is evil. I'd like to think that that's just not the case, that we all want our country to succeed here in the States, if you happen to be in the States. But how do we get entertainment out of it at this point? Because now we have everybody in Congress is just trying to be a celebrity. They're no different than doing TikTok dances because all they're doing is just trying to fundraise and be popular. They want to fundraise, be popular. You've got people that we are not getting legislation done. We are not getting bills passed. We're not helping people. That's what Congress is supposed to be for, which I'm a big advocate for term limits, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. Do you know what the House of Representatives' job is?
Yes, I do.
It is literally, I think it's 13 bills. That is what their job is to pass these 13 bills, one of which is to fund the government. And ever since Clinton, they have a continuance on the bill to fund the government. And it's just like, they're not even doing their jobs.
Nope.
Like, why do you keep reelecting these people? They're not doing their jobs. You would get fired if you were a corporate person, if you didn't do your job. Like, fire these people, put people in that'll get shit done, and put term limits on them, and get rid of campaign funding altogether. That's the only way entertainment gets out of it. Like, give people, you get 10 ads a week for no charge. You know, get the dollars out of the whole system. And I think it'll be a much more fair and less over your head kind of thing. Cause like, I'm still like $1 billion and people are starving. Like that bothers me.
Me too.
As I understand
and there's kids that aren't educated or can't get education or can't get health care. And we got $1 billion going to just buy ads on TV.
Oh man, we don't fail kids anymore. That's like, I could go down a whole rabbit hole about that, but until they get in high school, we can't fail them. What? No, if you're not passing the curriculum, you should not be moving on to the next grade. It's just somebody else. It's just somebody else's problem down the road. That's not right. But anyway, sorry, John, what were you saying?
Yeah, as I understand it, we're the only country that has election cycles the way we have election cycles, which feels like they're constantly going all the time. Whereas other countries, it's like a 6-week process. It seems ridiculous. I think we as a people would have to decide that we're not going to pay attention to the media in which they're trying to partake in. Like, we have to all together make the decision, which we're not going to ever be able to do. Say, we're not going to listen. We're not going to participate in this. And it's never going to happen.
Put it on the ballot, make it part of your state constitution. Like, the election cycle will be 6 weeks long. Yes or no?
Oh, I agree. It should. That's exactly what it should be. It should be, I don't know about 6 weeks, but 12. Europe does it in a couple months. Why can't we? I think we've proven it this cycle with Harris. I mean, look how quickly her campaign got amped up, right? Ramped up, amped up, whatever. Both of them apply. Meanwhile, you got the other guys been campaigning for a year and a half, 15 years.
12.
But consistently for this election for a couple years now. And at some point, can't we just dial it back and say, okay, you can only raise money from this point to this point in each election? Don't
disagree.
Okay.
It's big business. It's now big business. And that's the problem.
Wait. Well, I want to mention some listener thoughts on this when we asked their thoughts on this particular topic. And we asked them, we don't want to know who you're voting for, but is politics and just entertainment now, and celebrity endorsements, do they matter? And Josh Steima, I'm going to just read a couple of them, but Josh Steima, if someone I very much like endorses a candidate that I don't personally support, then it's easy to separate art from artists. And no issue, and an endorsement from a celebrity doesn't sway me anyway. It doesn't matter if it's toothpaste, adult diapers, a cell phone carrier, or political affiliation. I agree. Commercials don't sway me either. They obviously do, or they wouldn't be using them though.
Yeah. I'm pretty resistant to a lot of those things. As a matter of fact, anytime someone's trying to convince me of something, I instantly become suspect of it.
Barbara Harris said celebrities have every right to openly support whoever they want, just like anyone else, but they leave themselves open to backlash, which could impact their ability to get work in the future. And it never used to be like that. That's also a good point. I don't think that's fair. You've got Zachary Levi, I would argue his career was already kind of fallen into the toilet, but he came out for Trump, and now he's saying, if you happen to be in Hollywood, you can't really support the right side because you will struggle to get work. And I remember Bruce Willis had an issue with that, and Dennis Quaid, he gets chat. I mentioned that I love Dennis Quaid, and they're like, oh, he supported Trump, and my answer was, I don't care. I still like Dennis Quaid. I'm still a fan of his acting. I mean, I have family that support the right and the left, so I love them too. And I'm not going to change my opinion because of who somebody voted for. But it's weird how they're totally it's the sports team analogy, right? Everybody just has to pick. It seems like everybody just picks their favorite sports team now. And if you're not on their favorite team, you're against me. And that's just silly to me. I don't understand that. I remember we used to be able to at least come back together.
Yeah, it's hard
especially
to have a conversation
like
that.
Aaron and I, right? We're Green Bay Packer fans, and we both live on this side of the line in the Chicago Bear territory. I tell everybody, I am a Packers and Bears fan because of the fact that I respect the history of the two teams starting up the NFL way back in the day, right? If they play each other, I'm cheering for the Packers. But if the Bears make it to the playoffs, like, of course I'm going to cheer for the Bears because the NFL is what's important. It doesn't matter if you're red or blue in the United States. The United States is what's important. So you just have to make sure you have good, healthy dialogue and conversation in order to save the country.
Kyle Nolan, I like this one. I can't stand celebrity political endorsements. They are just meant to try to sway the mindless, devoted fans who can't form an opinion of their own. Damn, he's just throwing shade. I don't love that part because nobody's mindless. You guys are all smart if you're listening. These celebs are so out of touch with reality and what regular people want or need. Their opinions mean nothing, and their vote doesn't count any more than anyone else's. I don't really even want to know what these celebrities' political opinions are anyway. Their sole job is to entertain. I guess just sit there and dribble. Look, I think if you have a platform and you feel passionate about something, you've earned the right to use that platform. Don't be mad if people stop supporting you, because that's the risk of using your platform. That said, I feel very similar. I just don't care. And I don't think most celebrities, there are many who do get it, but I think a lot of celebrities don't understand what it's like to really work day to day and work 15 hours a day and fail to be able to afford groceries and really live check to check and don't know if rent's going to get paid the next month, that sort of thing. I think a lot of celebrities, most politicians as well, don't understand it.
Yeah, and Tim agrees with you, right? Anyone who's out of touch with the real world shouldn't be making political endorsements. They come off as hollow and out of touch. Plus, everyone knows if you want jobs in Hollywood, you have to swing one way politically or you'll be out of work.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite comment? Marcus Shelton, Aaron for Congress. Thanks, Marcus. I appreciate your endorsement.
I'm surprised you haven't run.
I don't want to have to deal with skeletons.
And Aaron has many.
That is just the honest. I'm being as honest as I can. I do not want. I don't. You know what? I had a great run as a young man. I just don't want my family having to deal with my previous life. That's all.
But at the same time, it's like where you lived and how you grew up. You're part of the community. You know,
and I have integrity. You could never pay me off. I promise you that. Nope. I would never sell my soul for money. As much as I joke.
Here comes Marvel. We're going to rewrite Uncle Ben in all of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies if you do this. Aaron's like, sold.
No.
I got some dairy house.
Some ice cream? Yeah. I could do it. Like, money won't do it, but I got a fat guy's heart. So it's because I've been a fat guy.
That just means that he's going to have a heart attack at any given moment.
It's very possible. It's very possible. Apparently, fried chicken is not health food. All right. So we're going to finish this episode. And I want to finish with asking you, what would your favorite movie or TV president, whoever it is you choose, think of politics today?
Well, I think that Dave would just look at it and just shake his head and go like, I don't want to be a stand-in double for this garbage. Like I want to do things. I want to change the world. I want to use the power that's been given to me to be this double in the movie with Sigourney Weaver as the first lady. But he would just go, no, I don't want to. Like the guy made it a shit show. Like, why do I want to be that guy? He would be appalled at where we've gone as a society in our politics. Yeah. The Dave, the nicest guy in the world, can't even do it.
It's pretty sad. What about you, John?
It's hard. I couldn't really think of a great president, but I went to Harrison Ford's James Marshall from Air Force One, and I just think he would be like, "Get off my plane."
So you just quoted the movie. That was your answer?
Yeah.
That's good. Well,
he couldn't think of anyone.
You couldn't think of any thoughts? President?
No.
You're grounded. Like, just go to your
Morgan Freeman had to deal with a giant asteroid coming to the planet. Couldn't channel him with one of his great speeches?
No.
Quote him?
Can't even inject a thought in the guy's head. I'm just going to give you a quote direct from the movie. Get off my plane. What does that have to do with what he thinks of the politics today? I don't know. But it's cool.
He wants it off his plane.
Yeah. I would probably go with David Palmer, and I think he'd be very disappointed in most of us.
Oh.
You know, he had a lot of integrity. He had a lot of integrity. He should run. All right, guys, that's going to do it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I mean, we don't do political very often. Next week is going to be our holiday movie preview, so we're back on the movie train. I can't wait to talk movies with everyone. Thanks for listening. Remember, Inspired by a True Story is back as well. You can find that in your podcast feeds. That's our true crime podcast where we tell you the true stories behind some of your favorite movies. We did The Conjuring, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and Woman of the Hour is coming out soon. So make sure you subscribe to that.
Such a good movie.
It is. And if you join Patreon, you get to hear it early. So, that's pretty cool. Now that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for listening. And remember, the next time you head to a theater or stream comfortably on your couch, watching politics, watching the magic board all night long, like I'm probably going to do, buy popcorn.
For 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, 6 weeks. Are you kidding me? I'm going to be up all night watching that. Remember the old days when it was done by midnight? What the fuck?
Not even. It'd be done by 9 o'clock, and then you go to bed at 10.
And you knew who won before you went to bed.
And they didn't even have the technology that we have today.
I don't understand.
I had a thought over the weekend, and I am happy about one thing, which is I don't have to deal with the election on election night. I can just go to sleep, and I can just have a nice night of rest.
Don't be a monster, John. Don't be a monster.